Hi, I'm Martha Josie, and this is Ty Mitchell. You're looking mighty classy in those dark glasses today, Ty.
Well, thankfully the sun is shining and the weather is nice, and we're excited. We're getting ready for our Easter clinic this weekend, and we just want to spend a few minutes with you and talk about some of the things that we work on at a clinic. And probably one of the most asked questions, Martha, is body position. What is the difference? What should my body be doing different in between the barrel versus a turn? Should I lean? Should I sit square? And those are things that can really influence a horse's angle to a barrel. Probably the most hit barrel is the second barrel, and anticipation plays a great part in that. And a lot of times it goes back to your body position, how you set in the saddle with your horse. And a lot of us ride good doing our slow work, but when we go to running, we might start to leaning or twisting our body the wrong way. And we're just going to spend a few minutes and kind of explain that, what works for us.
Well, you're probably a good one to talk about it because I saw you go around the barrel 16 times at the Junior World, and you're the only one that ever won it 4 years in a row, so that was pretty darn good.
Well, I had good teachers.
And a good horse. But body position is so important.
Body position is important, not just in competition, but when you're training a horse.
Right.
So many horses, they think they're supposed to hit a barrel, and having that correct posture on your approach is half the battle, and it leads to consistency when you do it right.
You want fast turns and tight turns, but they got to be all the way around the barrel, right?
That's right.
Okay, well let's go show them now. Okay.
All right, I think I'm going to use the second barrel as the example. I think it is probably our most hit barrel, and this is where a lot of people coming from a right-hand turn to a left-hand turn, they kind of get their body out of whack, and we'll just start there.
Good.
Now, as I'm turning this first barrel, I want to make sure that I overturn it, and then right here I want to get my horse square. And it really starts with your hands. I don't want one hand up. I want my hands level. I want my hands to be even on the reins, and I want to be, the saddle horn should be, my belly button should be in line with the saddle horn. If I come over here and start dropping my hip, that horse will read that as turn, and they start anticipating. So when you're coming across here, you want to stay square in your hips. I'm looking at that spot that I want to ride to. As I go to my saddle horn, I'm pushing back. I'm not leaning, but I want to stay square, and I'll almost put a little weight in my outside stirrup to keep me centered. And when you're turning, so many times you'll see people twist their body away from the barrel. And if I'm turning my body away from the barrel and dropping my shoulder, that almost allows this horse to drop his shoulder. We're pushing our hand across the neck, and when you come into a barrel with your body twisted away like this, that's hard to overcome for a horse. So what I like to think about is I want to stay in the center of my horse, but I do want to twist, but I want to twist with my upper body. I want to bring this left shoulder back, and when I twist from my waist up, that also puts my legs in a proper position, and it keeps this horse round in the rib cage. And riding a barrel horse is a lot like dancing. You got to have timing with your horse. You got to be in rhythm. And so having good body position will help solve a lot of your problems. Now with my hand, I'm keeping this horse's nose tipped to the inside where I can see the corner of his eye. But when I twist, watch what his head does. When I twist, I'm using more body, more leg, and less hands. And the lighter and quieter you can be with your hands, the better it's going to be. Now when I change my body position, see how this horse flattens out? You're not going to have that snappy turn. So the key is you want to twist from your waist up. I want to pretend I got eyes right here, and I want to turn, and I want to look. And that helps not only round the horse out, but it creates less hesitation. If your horse is pointing the turn, a lot of times that goes back to your body position. If you're going across the neck, instead of staying square, riding your horse to your legs, even with the barrel, those little things add up. And a smart horse is really going to read and feel what your body's doing. And so if we're sending him mixed signals, a lot of times we can be fighting our horse. And that's where it goes back to, it's like this is your dance partner, and you want to make sure that you're in timing and rhythm with this horse. Less hands and more leg and more body. If I'm at home doing slow work, I'm going to stay 2 hands on my reins. I'll use the inside rein to tip the nose, outside rein to help control the rear end. Now this horse is pretty quiet. Some horses want to be a little bit chargy when you're doing slow work, and that's definitely where it's important to be two-handed. That way you can keep their body in position, but also keep them from speeding up when you're going into a turn. If my horse feels like he is rushing the turn, that can lead to dropping shoulders and getting on that front end.
Time. You're talking about how to keep that back end up under him.
Up under him. I'm going to do a little deal on
inside
that.
pivot foot. That's so important, that inside pivot foot. And also, I'm going to get tied a lope across to this one showing being in the correct lead. He's going to be in the left lead going to the second barrel. And inside pivot foot is so important right here. And why? Because they've got to use that inside pivot foot to get that inside leg up under him and then to push off. If a horse is out of lead going across there, he's got to change in order to turn that barrel. But he wants that inside pivot foot. R.E. Josie, he always told me, make sure that that horse is using that inside pivot foot.
Now something else to think about, when I'm trotting, I want to post, but what I never want to do is post around the barrel. I'm going to sit here, and that's not where I turn. I want to ride my horse slightly past the barrel, and then as I leave, I'll go back to posting. What that does is it keeps a horse, I want a horse to know that whoa means whoa and turn means turn. And so when I sit down here, a lot of horses mistake that as turn. And so in my slow work, it's important to, I may sit down here, but that's not where I'm turning. I'm gonna wait till my leg or his hip is even with the barrel to give him a little more depth up into the turn. And that will help create snap in a turn. If a horse is a little early, they're gonna hesitate or point the turn on the backside. So putting your horse in the right position is important. How your horse reads your body is very important. Keeping that in mind in your slow work, not only in your runs, will make a big difference, and it'll lead to consistency on your barrel pattern.
You know, one other thing, if you are hitting a barrel, Ty, show how to lope nice circles around that second barrel. Because if you're dropping that shoulder, show him that he can go over there to the second barrel and lope a nice circle around it. Here Ty goes, he's going to lope around, he's going to pick that shoulder up, he's in the correct lead. Always make sure that if you're doing these circles around the barrel, that you are in that correct lead. Good job. And you know, a lot of good slow work. You know, one of the favorite ways that you can teach your horse the correct pattern is walking and trotting, because you're going slow enough that you've got to do everything correct. And I'm a former basketball player, and my coach told me, practice doesn't make perfect, perfect practice makes perfect. Time. We were talking about, these are some of the things that we actually teach at our clinics.
It is, and one of the things, you know, just having somebody watch you at a clinic and point out, sometimes it's the small details that makes the biggest difference. And having people at each barrel and they're pointing out, do this with your hand or sit this way. Little things, little adjustments can make or break you. And having those eyes watching really helps. I know it helped me, and I always came to the last clinic before the Junior World, which is the Spring 2 clinic, and got in this pen, had the opportunity to get in this pen and make some runs and really get my timing back. And barrel racing's all about timing and knowing where to put your horse, the angles to the barrels and different things like that.
You know, I tell my barrel racers all the time, play other sports too.
Yeah.
You played football. You even
Football.
got to go to the Astrodome.
We did.
And so, you know, play other sports, timing in basketball, dribbling that ball, you know, whatever you do. And we've got some schools coming up too. R.E. Josie's got the 50th annual calf roping school.
This is 50 years of rodeo schools at the Josie Ranch. We're excited and don't really have any plans of slowing down, do we, Martha?
No,
We're going to go for 100 years. But like she's saying, we're getting ready to have the Easter clinic this weekend. In 3 weeks, we're going to have the Spring 2 clinic, which is a great way to get your horse tuned and prepped for the Reunion or Junior World. And then at the 1st of June, we'll have the week-long barrel racing and calf roping school, as well as some other schools. And that's probably my favorite school because you get to spend a week and get to meet so many new people, and it's a lot of fun.
Oh, you bet. And Junior World and Reunion people, y'all be sure and get those paint horses out. This is my paint. And somebody's actually going to ride her. She's wanting to get too close to you, Ty. This is, look at this. And this is her name. She's a registered paint. This year at the Reunion and the Junior World.
There's a paint incentive.
Yes, there's a paint incentive. It's going to be so much fun. Belt buckles for both and added money for both. And so we're really excited.
Check out on our website, check out our clinic dates. And not only do we have clinics here at the ranch, but we got them all over the country. But check out our dates and see if there's a clinic in your area. We'd love to see you at the Josie Ranch.
World champion Ty Mitchell, Team Josie member with easily smashed toes. Get packed. That's what we're talking about on the back of the horse. Here comes the world champion around that third barrel. Today for Ty Mitchell. 16:044. 16:044. He's in second.